Now we reset it and we come right back up here. Inside activation, there is none. Select and place French battle plans and then draw the enemy. So we're going to do the same darn thing. We are going to try and charge with the cavalry. This time, we definitely need that grape shot again. All right, shouldn't miss 2 times in a row. And then this time, I think what we're going to do is we're going to use maybe engage, which is an advance and an effect on the shock. We move into line at that point, and then we lay the fire into them. So we're going to try this with these guys. This division here is in trouble. They're going to get hit by a lot of stuff. They're probably not going to last. La Harpe is probably a goner. So that is the drawback. If you send in your elites up there to flank, they're kind of left out in the open. Okay? All right. Oh, actually, you know what? I take this back. You know what we can do? Let's do this. We're going to take this grape shot off, and we're going to use right here, add to a battle plan and resolve before the enemy. Because remember, Austrians go first. So if we add this here, I will be able to move in and hit both of these units and push them back and maybe save La Harpe. Okay, I just drew for the Austrians. They got aimed and closing. All right, so none of their guys are in line. So we're going to put, if infantry no roll, so we're going to put that on the Piedmont troops, and then we're going to give the cavalry the aimed. All right. All right. So normally Austrians go first, right? We come over here, resolve enemy battle plans. But because Napoleon was here and he's such a great guy, wonderful leader, he did this. So he's engaging and gets to resolve it before the enemy. So this guy is in column, so doesn't have to roll to activate, which would be an 8 or lower, which I've rolled 9s and 10s, so that's good that we don't have to roll. He gets to advance. They would take their shock at a -2, but they're both in column. So that is going to be great because they auto-fail in column. So he is going to move up. He would attack the least experienced, which would be these Piedmont guys. So Piedmont has already taken a hit. That's that red band. So he is now dead, out of the game. Ooh, come back here. All right, that order is now out of the game. So now he also, if you look here, he advanced. Now he moves into line and fires. Attacks at a +1. Right, so Sourier attacks with a 7. He gets a +1 on this attack. So let's hope that we get a hit this time. Yes, we got a 3. So that is a hit. All that's left in his row, he has to be attacking here, is this cavalry. And then the wonderful thing is, cavalry does not have a downgrade. So this is an automatic kill. All right, so then they're out. So now we have really lightened the load that La Harpe has to take. All right, so these orders are now out. All right, and now these guys up here will activate. Now, it's still a lot. And they all get to combat because they are 0 to 1 away. So this guy, he would need to, he doesn't have to roll. He is just going to, they all go to line. So he hits on a 5. So he hits, and we're going to take the hit on this guy, the one that came up to help him out. All right. All right. And then the next one down the row is the cavalry. They go into line. They hit on a 4. He rolled a 7, misses. All right. Next cavalry here, they hit on a 2, and then they get 2 hits if they roll a 1. So they rolled a 0, so no hits. The infantry, this could be bad. They hit on a 7. And they hit. So they got a 4. I'm going to take another hit over here. And hope that these guys will not be able to hit with their little bit of a 1 there. All right, so he only hits on a 1. And you got to be kidding me. He rolled a 1. All right, so we lose somebody. Sourier, who came up to help, is out. All right. And now it would go back to the rest of the French troops, which is La Harpe, Auguier, and that guy, and the artillery. All right. So my charge, these guys still get to charge. They do have to activate, needing an 8. So they activate. All right, so they advance, advance, then attack. So boom, boom, and then they attack. All right, let's get this attack in before the end of this video. He hits. It's got to be on the least experienced guy up here, which is going to be a conscript. He'd probably rather lose this one, so they're done. All right, we're back. So the cavalry is done. La Harpe needs to attack. He hits on a 5. He misses. Actually, he probably needs to activate, doesn't he? Fire. If line, no roll. So he needed to activate. So he didn't even activate with that 8. All right, these guys here, Augereau, he will need to activate. He's got a march, nobody to attack. A 5 he activates and marches forward. And then the artillery back here. Doesn't have to activate, just needs a 6. And he rolled a 10. This dice is not being kind to the French. All right, and so that would be the French turn. So then we could add all this up and see if we got the odds in our favor. So 5 plus 8 is 13, plus another 8 is, what is that? 13, 21, plus another 6 is 27. He's got 5, 9, 10, 11, 17. So we do not outnumber him 3 to 1. We don't even outnumber him 2 to 1 at this point. So we go to the next turn. Boom. All right, just to save a little bit of time, I went ahead and drew their orders and placed our orders. We're going to try and do our activation again before them to try and lighten the load. The French are in trouble. There is no doubt about it right now. So we're going to engage. If in column I don't have to roll to activate, we advance. So they will advance into the enemy. And none of them auto break because they are in line, not in column. But you can see they take the shock at a -2. So it's going to be the conscripts, all right? They cannot pass because they have a 2 for their combat. So they're going to auto fail, which means they take a hit, which remember, cavalry do not have a step down. They just die. And then he is going to attack at a +1 as he goes into line. So now he's at a 9. 7 will hit. And it's going to be the next lowest morale, which is going to be one of these. I'm going to bet he would take this hit so that the cab stays a little healthy because the cab dies automatically. All right. And then that order is done. All right. And now it goes to the Prussian. All right. So the Prussians here, closing. If infantry no roll, they go into column. They would normally advance, but they can't advance beyond this guy, okay? So he can't do the rest of the order. Actually, he can attack. So he'll attack here. He has a 7 to hit. And rolled an 8. This die loves to roll high. So he is done, okay? Then we come over here, and if you notice, the battle plan guys always go first before the guys who receive generic ones. So this guy's going to go wedge, so he has to go into column. He has to actually activate first. I don't even know if I looked at the other one. I think the other one was okay. So a 5, he does not activate, so that saves us. He does not get to do anything. Okay. And then this guy will just attack. And he rolled a 10, so nothing. All right, so that's really good for the French. They survived the initial onslaught. So here we go. Here we're going to do the push. So we go into column. We move in. I think he's actually in line, sorry. We move in. We don't have to roll to activate because we're in column. He's not in column, so it's not an auto fail on the shock check, but he's at a -4 to his melee. So he can't pass, right? He's a -1, no way to pass. So he will break. He takes a hit and falls back, but he's already taken a hit. So he's out, all right? So La Harpe has done his job. So then the only other one, Augereau went first, so now we are to Stengel. Stengel is going to fire. If he's in line, I don't have to roll, so he's in line. So he attacks. He has an 8 for 1 hit or a 4 or lower for 2 hits. And of course, he rolled a 9 again. That cavalry has done terrible this game. All right. So that's that round. So we count them up again to see if we outnumber them 3 to 1. And the French are at 16 and 5, 21. He is at 11. So we almost have him 2-1, but not 3-1. So let me come over here. And when we move this, it's withdraw. So both armies are going to possibly withdraw from the battlefield, but we have to roll on this chart. All right, so let's see what happens. We roll a 5, which is the enemy retreats. All right, so the enemy has to fall back, meaning that these two guys who were in Klagenfurt have to pull out of Klagenfurt. All right, which means that the French that survived this battle are now in Klagenfurt. And I believe that wins the campaign. These guys might counterattack. I'll have to look that up in the rules to see if it ends right now or not. So I'll let you know. Okay, so I just checked, and it says that when you control all the objectives on the board at the end of any step in the turn, you have won the campaign. So it looks like we matched Napoleon. It was a historical, so it'd be 20 points on the grand campaign. So April 1797, Italy has fallen, or at least the French have defeated Piedmont and Austria in Italy, because we just ended our forced march, resolved that battle. So we would be doing French supply right now, which would be getting a lot of supply, 3 for each city that we control, as well as the 3 that we start the game with. So there you got it, man. You got to see like 2 full turns. You got to see how the battle works. Like I said, this game is elegant in a lot of ways, very playable, and it definitely gives you a nice feel of a grand campaign, making the decisions with the battle, using different battle plans to try and gain an advantage. I'm looking forward to playing the next campaign, which is probably this one here, 1800.